Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and once again it's time for me to welcome you to this wonderful show, a new episode of Idea Dream Home Season 3. I'm joined here by experts in the field of architecture who've got lots of experience building homes, making people's dreams come true. But here they are on another different task. They've been assigned the job of finding Kerala's most beautiful home. And as contestants, we've got 50 great applications. From these 50, which one will it be? The journey continues. It's my pleasure to welcome architect T.G. Ramesh, architect Shaina Rajesh, and architect Ruben Koshi. They've definitely had a tough task over the past few weeks, been through so many houses, but a few more to go and then we will be there. Now, are you guys ready for today's house? It's called Swarna Hamsam, so I'm thinking Gold Swan. Let's see whether the house lives up to the name. Take a look at your visual. home. And in this journey, we've come across Swarna Hamsam's visuals, and now it's time to find out what our judges think of this house. Of course, the first parameter is exteriors, which will talk about the elevation, landscape, and everything that comes at the initial glimpse of the house. I'll start with you, Shaina. What did you think?
Ranjini, from the entrance, we get only a hidden view of the house. And as you enter, as you come through the driveway, what you see is a car porch projecting out and a heavy structure on top of the porch. So what I felt is that it looked as though a big head on slender legs. And moreover, from the elevation, there were a lot of elements in the elevation which made it look a little confusing, because there were, like the traditional sloping roofs. There were arched, some features given above the car porch, and on top of that the traditional charbadi and the traditional sloping roofs. Then again on top of the windows they had given two sunshades.
Correct.
Like there was a smaller sunshade over the bay window, and again another sloping roof over that, and again over that they had the main roof. So all in all there were 3 steps. So I don't understand the purpose of that. The main purpose of giving a slope is to prevent rainwater and sunshine from coming in. So one shade actually serves the purpose. So I don't know why they have given 3 shades for that. Then the overhang for the car porch was, they had given enough overhang so that water will not splash in during the rains. That was one advantage what I found in the elevation. Then coming to the flooring on the sit out, I thought it is a bit too heavy, with a lot of woodwork, heavy intricate wooden work, wooden paneling on the walls, wooden paneling on the columns. So all that gave the house a very massive and heavy look. But one plus point is the landscape. There was a little pebbled area. I think I like that, because that had a very formal and warm, informal look, and a little warmth to it. Okay. That actually contradicted the elevation view of the house.
Okay, Rameshji?
As soon as we enter, we see only the gate and the car porch. I think they should have done something. The designer had a flaw there. He missed a trick. The building should have come onto the front, and the car porch should have been taken to the other side. So some major part of the building would have been seen from the gate.
So visually,
would have been looked much better. So that's one a small mistake which the designer did. And another thing is, as soon as we enter the car porch, the area there, I think it's slightly tight, but there is a landscaping on the rear which is also not visible from the entry point of view. From the house only the landscaping is visible. So there are certain problems which they couldn't rectify it.
Okay, and Ruben?
Yeah, for me actually, when I saw the gate, the woodwork, the material of the gate itself, it had something like stainless steel and a lot of woodwork. So that really set the tone, I think, for the rest of the house, because that elaborate woodwork on the gate is taken into the veranda, and like we have seen, it's in the inside. So I think there's a lot of wood, and there's a lot of skill, craftsmanship exactly, that has actually gone into the wood. So I may or may not like that personally, but I think there are people who really appreciate that.
Yes.
And then coming to the building as such, I could see from shots from above, it had a nice sloping profile from top, but not much of it was visible from the bottom. So actually a lot of it went unappreciated.
Okay.
And also I like the area above the car porch. Even though it had a wooden paneling and wall, it looked as if the roof is kind of floating over that. It gave that kind of feeling, a very warm feeling, and they have used traditional charibadis below as well as on top to complete the look. So what you see from the front is only a very bit of it, but like Shaina was saying, they could have simplified the use of cornices as well as multiple roofs.
Okay.
Again, the landscape areas, what small areas were given were quite nicely done, with plants or flowering trees, I think, and small bushes, etc., which looked pretty good.
Okay, let's Shaina on 30.
19.
19. Rameshji?
18.
18 from you, and Ruben, what about you?
19.
19. Okay, pretty similar there. Now, when we step into the next parameter of planning, Rameshji?
I think regarding the planning, I like the one area I liked is the staircase area with the double height spaces, and I think they planned some skylight there, which I think was avoided later on, but it looks like a skylighted courtyard except for the skylight. And another interesting area I liked is the veranda, sit out then on top of the car porch, you know, which you have a good view of what is happening at the gate and all those things. That is also a good area. Those two areas, otherwise planning is just on.
There's a lot of space, so I guess it was easier to plan around all that, right, Ruben?
Well, for me actually, once I was watching videos of the inside, the woodwork mesmerized me. I mean, like I couldn't
look at anything else.
I couldn't look at anything else. I was trying to figure out what is at the base of the stair. Is it a boy, girl, elephant? You know, eagle. Yeah, because I was actually trying to look at the details. So there is a lot of work that has gone into that. You know, I mean, the carved panels beneath the staircase. So actually, I couldn't really figure out too much of the planning. But basically, planning wise, I think it was okay in terms of location of rooms, etc. But I could find, for example, when we entered the living room. For such a living room, kind of large, there's just 2 or 3 sofas placed there, a TV carelessly placed on one side of the wall. I mean, I think the detailing was a little careless in terms of
these things.
Yeah, in terms of these things, but a lot of attention was taken to that, and I think they've succeeded that way. So you don't look at any of this.
Only the wood.
Only the wood. And there's a lot of it, and there's a lot of good craftsmanship in the wood.
For sure. Shaina?
Let's start from the exterior planning, Ranjini. What I felt is, I mean, since the site is very limited, the entry point is very narrow, and then I think you have a larger area at the back. So maybe they could have planned the house facing the roadside rather than placing it towards the side. So that is one point where they have gone completely wrong. I don't know the site conditions exactly, but from the visuals, that's what I felt.
So you feel if they did that, it would have been bigger?
Yeah, the house would have looked better rather than seeing it from the side. Then coming to the interior, the same thought struck me. I mean, like seeing all the woodwork, we didn't look at the planning basically. And I think the planning can't go wrong because it's such a big house and on such a big budget. So naturally the planning has to be right. But again, the living room was too big and the sofa sets were not, suiting that room. They were very sparsely placed, and the TV room, since it's such a big house, naturally they ought to have a informal living room where they have a TV space and a family space. And since the living room has a TV in it, I don't think how practical it is. Then again, coming to the interior of the rooms, I felt the rooms looked a little, dark.
Okay.
Because I don't know whether it's because of the lack of lighting or whether it's because of the excessive use of wood. Maybe any of the reasons can be there. Then coming to the bedrooms, they were all spacious. The toilets were spacious, well done. They had a jacuzzi, and the kitchen, lot of cabinets. Use of cabinets. I don't know how can they
hardly any wall.
Hardly any wall, and the cabinets, they are not placed properly. Also, they just here and there. Somehow they have just added to the use of wood. That's what I felt.
All right. So planning, let's start with you, Ruben. Marks?
20.
20 from you. Rameshji?
19.
And Shaina?
20.
20. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you about interiors, and I know the word I'm going to hear is wood, wood and wood. Ruben?
Wood and more wood. Yeah, but see, actually if you look at it in a positive kind of way, the skill of the carpenter definitely needs to be appreciated. I mean, like he must have spent months there sitting and working on it, But I think again, what happens is the focus was taken too much by the wood. I mean, you've seen the elaborate ceilings on the bedrooms.
Yeah.
It's almost like a temple-like of a ceiling. So, but I think they've forgotten the small things like, for example, they had photos in the living room. That's always almost touching the ceiling.
Too high.
Too high. I mean, you don't really have a visual connection with a photo that's placed so high.
They always say it's somewhere eye level.
At least below the lintel level, door level. Small things like that. The curtains were a little too bright. When you have so much of wood and the floor was giving you all kinds of patterns. Yeah, maybe you could have gone for a more muted kind of curtains. We had an orange and white combo for the curtains. Could have been a little more muted. Then the ceiling, bedrooms, elaborate ceiling work. Then we had a kind of a entertainment room right on top, with a spiral staircase. I really couldn't figure out. They had so much of wood in the house. Finally, they went for a stainless steel staircase right at the top.
Why did that happen?
I mean, like there's so much of wood, So I think these are smaller details, but I think the idea was basically to maximize the use of wood for some reason. They've done that part, but I think they've missed out a little bit of the minor issues.
Maybe they had like lots of trees they could fell at free cost.
Maybe.
Be so good. Shaina?
The first and only thing that struck me was the usage of wood. It's hats off to the carpenter or the people who worked on it, because the intricate detailing is really, really good. Like one example, what I would like to say is the external column, what they have given. They have given small pieces of wood on the column, and on that they have given another design. I mean, it's only noticeable when you come close and look at it. So they have spent a lot of money on certain things which are not even visible to the I mean, normal person.
Look,
casually, you can't even see it. That shows the amount of interest the client had on the woodwork, and that woodwork scores over everything in the house, because I think the linen, the curtains, the upholstery of the sofa sets have not been given any importance regarding to compared to the woodwork.
Yeah.
Then again, the flooring, had a lot of heavy patterning on it, so the woodwork combined with that plus the red cushions made it look very heavy.
Right, and how about you, Rameshji? Same thoughts?
When the client is so much interested in the woodwork and dark flooring, definitely the planner should have gone in for big windows and huge windows, because the light is totally missing in this house, because all the light has been absorbed by the wood and the flooring. So that's a big mistake. They finally whatever good things done by the woodwork is not come out well because of the lack of lights. But you cannot say but the carpenters and the carving people worked on, they have done a fantastic job, and such woodwork nobody has
I haven't seen it on the shows in such detail.
So woodwork, hats off to the woodwork. But one thing is that the kitchen, it was too heavy, and unnecessary use of wood in the kitchen, unnecessary use. So overall, interior means it's all woodwork, but maybe not in the correct direction.
Okay, so let's see how this one scores with our judges. How about you, Rameshji?
22.
22. Shaina?
Just 19.
Just 19. It was too much for you. Ruben?
Just 18.
Oh, even more for you. Okay, there you go. Now I have to ask you whether this house has a special feature, but why am I even asking? I don't know, but it's a segment for 10 marks. So, Shaina, special feature of Swarna Hamsam?
The woodwork naturally, but I wonder how they clean it.
Don't even think like a woman right now. Let's hope they have 10 servants who do it. Ruben?
They have a special carpenter.
Yes, so that's your X factor. Rameshji?
It's all about woodwork.
It's all about woodwork. So wood and more wood with Swarna Hamsam. Let's see where that special feature scores. Rameshji?
5.
On 10. Shaina?
5.
Again. And Ruben?
8 for the carpenter.
8 for the carpenter. Do you want to source him out?
Not really my style,
but still, he must be really skilled. Well, congratulations to the carpenter on this show. Even individuals can make a mark in a house such as this. Well, let's now ask our judges for a total score. Swarna Hamsam stands at what, Ruben?
65 for me.
For you. Shaina?
63.
Okay, and Rameshji?
64.
Okay, that's all we have with Swarna Hamsam, and you've heard what our judges had to say. I guess the one thing that stays back in our mind today after seeing today's episode is just wood. And hopefully when you wake up tomorrow, all that will be gone, because by the time it's tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m., it will be another house with different other special features and something completely different from our judges. The good thing about the show is, along with finding Kerala's most beautiful home, we're also trying to pass on some information about how to make your homes more beautiful, about the various aspects, especially if you want to make a home in today's time and age. Thank you very much to our experts who've been very cooperative over the episodes, but a few more to go. I hope you hang on till the very end. You guys too. Catch you tomorrow.